Yo, hoop fans! Your sideline sage, Tips and Upstreams, is lacing up once again. On deck, deep dives into the freshest NBA clashes, ready to set the planks ablaze. But before we jump the ball, be sure to hammer that subscribe on our YouTube channel to keep hooked with our sharp forecasts and prime selections. All right, let's bounce into today's NBA Crystal Ball reads. The first prediction for today is for the game between New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers. The Eastern Conference semifinals roll into Indianapolis as the Knicks and Pacers face off for Game 3 on Friday night. Having secured a commanding 2-0 lead in the series with a resounding 130-121 victory over Indiana on Wednesday, New York is in a prime position. In the first two games at Madison Square Garden, the second-seeded Knicks demonstrated their prowess, ranking fourth in offensive efficiency this postseason. During the third quarter of Game 2, they surged ahead, outscoring the Pacers by 18 points to seal the home win at 130-121. The starting lineup shined brightly, with each player scoring in double digits, led by all-star Jalen Brunson, who dropped 29 points. OG Anunoby and Donte DiVincenzo each contributed 28 points on a combined 20 for 39 shooting, while Josh Hart added 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Knicks' fortunes seem tightly linked to the health and performance of Brunson and Anunoby. Even if Brunson makes it to Friday's lineup, his potential lack of full fitness could pose challenges, as he represents a significant portion of New York's scoring threat. As the series extends, the Pacers' likelihood of taking control increases, supported by their superior depth despite lacking the top-tier talent found in New York's roster. With coach Tom Thibodeau tightening his rotation to 7 players due to injuries, including Bojan Bogdanovic's season-ending foot injury, the Knicks are even more constrained. Mitchell Robinson's return for the playoffs was brief, as he's out for the season, prompting Thibodeau to integrate Precious Achiuwa more significantly into the lineup. However, Achiuwa isn't as strong a defender or rebounder as Robinson. His performance against the Pacers, who are less defensive, makes him a viable option. Alec Burks might also see more playtime, potentially weakening New York defensively, but necessary under the circumstances. Throughout the season, the Pacers have been a paradox, deeply flawed yet thoroughly entertaining. They excel offensively, utilizing a high-tempo game plan that overwhelms opponents with sheer possession volume. Despite their offensive efficiency, which was third best in the playoffs, they struggled defensively, particularly as they allowed the Knicks to score 251 points over the first 2 games. With the series now in Indiana, the Pacers, who cleaned up at home against Milwaukee in the first round, face a significant test. New York's fast-paced play from steals and rebounds will challenge Indiana, especially with key players like Anunoby out and Brunson questionable, which might reduce their transitional play. Despite these challenges, the betting lines have seen significant movement. The Pacers opened as 4.5-point favorites, which has fluctuated up to 7.5 points, reflecting sharp bettor interest swayed by injury updates and team performance. In terms of scoring trends, Pacers games have consistently hit over the total, a pattern seen in 6 out of 8 postseason games. However, the Pacers didn't maintain this in their losses to the Bucks, where they scored below 95 points in both games. Given the Knicks' injuries, the Pacers are well positioned to capitalize in Game 3. However, laying 8 points against a scrappy Knicks team that fights to the end is less appealing. Instead, considering recent trends, betting on the Pacers to cover in the first half might be more strategic, as historically, teams down 0-2 have a solid record of covering the first half spread in playoff games. Additionally, the Pacers have been the best bet for team totals, especially at home. With every postseason game won so far over their team total, betting on this trend might offer a safer wager. Even with a full roster, the Knicks face a tough battle in Game 3. If Brunson plays, the betting lines might adjust, providing potentially better odds. However, with Anunoby out and others like Hart, DiVincenzo, or McBride needing to step up, the Pacers are favored to exploit the Knicks' limited rotation and secure a win. I'm placing my bets on the Pacers to rack up more than 114 points and to seize a victory by outpacing the Knicks by at least 4 points before halftime. While I'm not laying any money down this time, I foresee the Pacers clinching the win and beating the 6.5-point spread by the game's end. The last prediction for today is for the game between Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets are gearing up for a critical Game 3 showdown against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Trailing 0-2 in the series, the Nuggets are under the gun following a 26-point blowout in their last outing. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are on a playoff hot streak, undefeated and powered by Anthony Edwards' standout performances. The Nuggets have been struggling to find their rhythm offensively, managing an average of just 103.1 points per game and shooting at 44.8%. Their defensive play has also left much to be desired, giving up 106.3 points at a nearly 50% shooting rate from their adversaries. With MVP Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray trying to steer the ship, Murray's woeful 28% shooting spells trouble. Historically robust on the road, the Nuggets have shown cracks this playoff season. In stark contrast, the Timberwolves have been a force to reckon with. Scoring 114.2 points per game on 48.8% shooting, they've clamped down on defense, holding opponents to just 98.7 points. With Rudy Gobert likely back after sitting out Game 2, their top-tier defensive lineup is about to get even tougher. The Timberwolves have historically had the upper hand in this matchup, especially on their home court, with a 6-0 record against the spread in recent games. Denver has often found it tough to shine in Minnesota, evident from their 1-7 record against the spread in recent visits. Tonight's game could be further complicated by injuries. Denver might be missing Jamal Murray due to a calf issue, a significant hit to their offensive strategy. On the other side, Minnesota remains strong despite missing Jalen Clark long-term. For Denver to turn the tides, it's going to take a monumental effort from Jokic and a step up from their role players. They need to harness their rebounding strength and beef up their interior scoring, which was notably lackluster in Game 2. Minnesota should keep up their defensive ferocity and exploit Denver's shooting struggles. Both Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are expected to continue their scoring spree, and with Gobert healthy, the Wolves are eyeing a solid 3-0 series lead. Our spotlight prediction zooms in on Naz Reid, the 6th man of the year, to sink over 1.5 triples tonight. Reid's sharpshooting has been on display all season, and his recent performances, including 4 treys in Game 2, suggest he's ready to light up the target center again. Reid has become a crowd favorite and looks set to shine brightly in tonight's crucial matchup. As for the game's outcome, we're banking on the Nuggets to cover the 5-point spread. With their backs against the wall, Denver's not going down without a scrappy fight. Despite the rough patch, the Nuggets are known for their resilience, especially with Murray back on the court. Although Minnesota has been dominant, they might ease up just enough in Game 3 for Denver to keep it close. Expect the Nuggets to leverage every minute Edwards spends off the court or catching his breath, with a more aggressive inside play from Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr.